Good morning, DBF family. So today we are back on Jed's Broke to Built KX 500, and today we are going to be tackling radiators and possibly exhaust, but I'm betting by the time we're done for the day, we just get the radiators and coolant system tackled. So when Jed gets here, we'll get going. Morning, Jed.
Morning, Kevin.
What are we doing today?
We're going to put some radiators on and maybe exhaust.
Yeah, radiators and exhaust maybe. On what? What is this thing?
KX 500 AF.
So this is Jed's nomination for the Broke to Built contest for the 2023 season. If you guys haven't watched any of our other videos, go back and watch the other ones and support us. And if not, do it anyways, because yeah,
You'll like it.
You'll like it, he says. But so what we've got is Jed actually ordered these two new radiators from Milers out of northern Utah because we needed this side to be shorter for clearance for the Y, because the factory 250F one was clear down there. Yeah, see, look.
Is that it?
See? So he just decided to buy two new ones from them, but once we got them here, there's a few modifications we've got to do to those, so we're gonna get after mounting these things and get them hooked up and get the coolant system figured out today. So the first thing we're going to do today is Jed's going to take the factory piece that we cut out of here that the old radiator mounts go to. He's going to run them up to his shop, machine those factory mounts out so we can reuse them and weld them on the frame to secure the bottom half of the radiator. The second thing we got to do is we've got to trim this piece off here and move this bolt hole up to line up with that shroud bolt right there. So the third thing we have to do on this side is I've got to trim this outlet off because this needs to connect to here somehow, and that right there is just not going to work for that angle. So I'm going to get after trimming these up. He's gone up to his shop to mill those pieces out, and we'll see what we can come up with. Stack.
So on these Mylar radiators, we had this upper shroud mount was about 1.5 inches lower.
Probably.
So we had to move it up, and then the frame mount was out here. We moved it up and got rid of that material there.
Let's see if it fits, shall we? All right, so we got this radiator all modded. Got the new bracket built here. We just got to pull it off and do a little trimming here, clean it up. That's tacked into place. We'll final weld that once we take the frame down to bare nothing. So next step is we've got a new outer case that goes on here with a removable clutch cover, so you can access the clutch on this without having to pull the whole case and the power valve. So we're going to install that because the outlets are just a little bit different on there, and we want to have that on there to mock up the hoses for the radiator. So we're going to pull this thing apart, tip it on its side, and change that out. Okay, so Jed, we tipped the bike on its side just to keep less mess. We've already drained the oil, but we're going to keep less mess off of the lower side of the frame because we've got some finish welding to do, and there's just less cleanup we want to mess with. So that's the old one, and this is the new one. That's the new parts, and I think this company is TSR. They're actually out of Australia, and what we've found that they're using for these is they're using a 250 style water pump outlet, which is going to give us a better angle for our conversion. And that's the biggest thing. And this side cover actually unbolts so you can access the clutch without disassembling the whole outer case. So that's going to make it pretty nice. So Jed, what did you decide here? What's going on?
Well, in this aluminum frame, this rear bolt for the case, there's not enough clearance for in between the frame for this to come off.
Right there, see? As we go to slide this up, that ear is hitting the back side of this frame. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to stand it up and pull the motor out of the chassis, change that, then put it back in and finish with our mock-up. So we got the motor pulled out of the old chassis here, so while Jed's over there changing the case, And I got this thing stripped down. I'm gonna go ahead and do my finish welding on the frame and the few spots we gotta do it on the mounts and stuff like that. And then we'll be done with that process, and we'll put it all back together again so we can just tear it back apart.
We put our clown shoes on.
Our clown shoes? Why are we wearing clown shoes?
Because we're just insane, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh yeah. Insane in the membrane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
As I got the old frame welded up, Jed's been busy over here, and he's about got this side case ready to slap on. Looks like he's got the power valve governor in it and water pump in it, so getting close for sure.
Been a little bit tricky, but we got her.
Sure is pretty though. Well, Jed got his side cover put on his motor, and that thing is an awesome product. I mean, that thing is beautiful. It fits well. Have zero complaints about that side cover or that side case. He had to run to his birthday party for a family member. The frame is still firecracker hot from welding on it for an hour and a half. So we're gonna call it a wrap for today, and when we get ready to bolt this thing back together, we'll tune you guys in. So we'll catch you on the next one. Good morning, DBF family. So today we're back in the garage again, and we're back on Jed's KX500 build. And as you can see, when we left off, we tore the motor back out of it, put the side cases on it, and I finished welding the frame. So plan for today is get the radiators put on and see how far we can get on the exhaust. So once Jed gets here, we'll get after it. So we've run into our first problem with this new aftermarket case, and we were kind of worried about it. But if you look right here, the new case actually hits the swing arm, front of the swing arm. So we're gonna have to pull it back out, grind that down, and kind of clearance the swing arm just a skosh. What are you doing there, Jedediah?
Filing my nails.
Filing your nails? With a rasp file?
Yeah.
Did it kind of hurt to put scratches in that pretty side case?
It is. Kind of sad, but
it's okay.
I'll be sad the first time I tip it over too.
Yeah.
Or launch it off a hill.
Will that happen?
Just a few times. Sure, we'll crash it.
I'm sure.
But like you said, one day this thing's gonna end up in a scrap pile.
Absolutely. Everything will. It's just stuff. It may not be in our generation, but at some point this thing will end up in a scrap heap, and it'll be turned into a new EV Tesla or something stupid. You know what they say, weight reduction is horsepower. That was butter. It's way good now. Say that again.
I said it makes me nervous wanting to hit on this pipe. It's probably the last one in the country.
Unobtainium exhaust pipes.
Then we still got Kevin's graffiti.
That's art. It's not graffiti yet, it's
art. Will you
art.
come sign it for me?
No.
Okay.
Alright, he's gonna dent this thing to... Ah! That hurt. You need to be a little more up into here. Alright, schmears a little. Whoa, that ought to be plenty, huh?
Hope so.
Alright, so why he's doing that, I'm gonna explain why he's doing that. So what's going on here is we are gonna relocate the factory outlet hose that was here, it goes to the jug here, to give us more clearance for the pipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go the 250 route, and we're gonna move that to the back of the jug. But the pipe still hits right there, and it still hits right here on the reed cage. So we're gonna try it now, and hopefully that gives us a little more clearance there. Clearance went in a lot easier.
Oh man.
Better?
better you need.
Oh man, pretty dang close.
Yeah.
You can't get the drill out now, can you?
It's a puzzle. One of those Chinese puzzles.
Oh, Japanese puzzle.
Yeah.
All right, one hole down.
Drill a hole in the joint for fun.
Yep. We're gonna tap that, and we will mount our outlet on there. Center punch that one, drill it, tap it, and then we'll blow a hole in that. Make sure this is flat, and we'll be good to go. All right, we're back at her again tonight after work. We are going to try to install the exhaust on this old girl. So what we're using for an exhaust is a CR500 expansion chamber and CR500 silencer on it, on the KX. So in order to do that, we've got this adapter that's made by, who is it, TSR?
Yeah, TSR out of Australia.
TSR out of Australia. A bunch of Kiwis down there built that for him. So what that's going to do, that's going to go up inside the jug, and we'll cut the female side of the CR500 pipe on and weld that to that.
It doesn't fit anymore.
It's got to, man. We might have to cut that off though.
Yeah, I think we will.
So this is what we're talking about. We're gonna have to trim that piece off right there in order to get it to mate to that. I don't think there's any way around it, Jed. What are you thinking?
Just height and make sure
You're just looking, admiring, because it's so pretty.
overthinking it.
Yeah, you'll have that. They're not impressed. Oh! Oh, it ain't new no more.
For sale, never used.
For sale, lightly used. Hey, that's hot.
It's your turn.
Yeah, right? See how close we are? Whoa. Pretty dang close-ish. I mean, really. A little pie cut maybe and push her back?
Yeah.
I mean, not terrible.
I mean, we're able to.
For an initial cut, that's not bad at all. How we doing? All right, so after quite a bit of trial and error on fitting this exhaust on this thing, we put the piece up in, trimmed it, set the pipe up there, pulled it back off, trimmed it, set the pipe back on, pulled it off, trimmed it, and so on. Did that 4 or 5 times. We actually kind of got it somewhat mounted in here, so flip the camera around and check this out. So as you can see, it's just tack welded in a couple spots right here. Still gonna go through and pull it off, buff this down, and TIG weld it all back in. But we've got good clearance on the frame right there, really good clearance there. We figured out the lower radiator hose going into the water pump. We figured that part out. Got the hanger, we got a good idea what to do there. Got good clearance here between the kicker, the frame. For the silencer, we still have to figure out the silencer on the back side, but we're gonna wait and do that probably tomorrow evening or Saturday because it's getting late. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good. There's a lot going on right here on these KX500s with the Honda pipe. So yeah, pretty happy with it so far. All right, so we're back in the garage this morning. We got Jed here, and look who he brought with him. Say hi, buddy. You gonna stop? You gonna talk? See? So, that's Hudson. That's his bike right over there. Jed got parts for it in the mail, so we're gonna finish that thing for him this morning. And once we get that done, we'll get back on Jed's KX500 build. What's wrong with your kid?
When I find out who his mother is,
His mother?
it's going down.
I'm pretty sure we know who the mother and father of that one is. All right, we're back on the 500. Got the little Katumer 50 out of the way. So we're gonna work on this thing. So on the agenda today, we are going to plumb each radiator to the motor, and then after we get that done, we finish the exhaust. So we're gonna throw the plastics on this thing and see where the radiator is gonna sit, mark the radiators, plug some holes, and then we'll weld in the new, I guess, 90s or unions or whatever you want to call them. Elbows. Let's call them elbows.
What are you figuring out there, Kevin?
So we're going to scribe the tank right here where this new outlet needs to go, or inlet needs to go in the radiator. And I'm going to pull the radiator off, drill a hole in there, and then I'm going to weld this to the new tank. But before we do that, I think we need to machine a plug where the old outlet was at, weld that up and plug it, and then we'll do this one. But for now, I'm just marking where this one's gonna go with the scribe so we can see it after I clean it.
All right, Kevin, I think you got two things going on here, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna grind that down, clean that up down to the tank, get rid of this gnarly weld, and then I'll go over to the lathe and we'll machine a plug to fit inside of it to plug that up. Drill a hole there that the elbow will go in, and we'll tag that in there. But look what I got. Earplugs and safety glasses. So you guys that were in the comment that were saying we need earplugs and safety glasses, look.
And we've got extra too.
Yeah. We have them, we just don't use them like we should.
Too inconvenient and takes too much time.
Yeah. Yeah, so when we're old and deaf and can't see what we're doing, you guys can be like, "Told you so."
I think one of us is already there.
Huh? So that's all cleaned up, drilled it out where it's a little more squarish, because when they welded the outlet in, it was actually offset, so it shouldn't matter. But we got Jace over here. He just showed up.
Hey!
So we're gonna throw him on the lathe over there, and we're gonna have him build a plug to go in there that has a shoulder on it that will step down inside of it, and then we'll TIG weld it in and fix that. Jed's gonna cut that one off, and we're gonna build another plug to go in that one, and we don't know if we're gonna put the new outlet where that one is or right there. I haven't quite decided yet.
Undecided.
Undecided.
Up in the air.
So we're switching positions here. He's gonna take the grinder. Jason and I are gonna go over there and get set up for that.
You bet. Get some stuff done.
And Hudson's just rolling around with the dogs over here. Hudson, how we coming over here? Are you supervising? Making sure Jason's doing a good job? Yeah.
He's got to be here. He's quality control.
Getting pretty dang close, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. You having fun?
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you wearing?
Safety glasses.
That's right. Because we're safe around here, huh? Okay, so Jace got me this piece machined out on the lathe for the plug for that hole. The way it'll work, it'll sit down inside of there like that. And I'll fire up the TIG welder and we'll TIG weld that thing in, and we will have a hole plug there. Then I'll take this piece, put it on there, TIG weld that one in, and the right hand radiator will be done. But while I'm doing that, Jason is going to be over on the lathe building one more plug
That hole.
for that.
Right there.
Yep. So we're just going to repeat until we're finished.
Yep. What are you doing, Kev?
I'm going to pressure test this here radiator that I just welded that on. So what I've done is, if you guys don't have a cylinder leak down tester, you can buy them cheap off of like Amazon, whatever. I think I paid $60 for this one, but they don't have to be used on motor work. If you need to pressurize anything up, they're great for stuff like this, and you can regulate actually how much pressure is going into them, and it works great. So I'm gonna pump this up to probably about 8 to 10 pounds. And then we'll run a little bit of soapy water over it.
Do you need some soapy water?
Check for leaks.
How we looking?
Well, so far, I don't see any excessive bubbles. It's not caused by just coming out of the squirt bottle. Okay, cool.
Heck
One
yeah.
radiator down.
There we go.
So, got all the radiator hoses welded in, or all the elbows welded in, got the cross flow welded in on the radiator, or installed. But both radiators are done. Cooling system on this thing is finished, but when I've been doing that, Jed and Jace have been building exhaust stuff. They've got the silencer all figured out. We had to relief cut the inlet pipe, so this would drop probably, what, 3/8 of an inch or so, just for a little more clearance. And I welded it back up while I was welding. And Jed is making the intermediate exhaust mount, so he's gonna pull the expansion chamber off, clean up where the old weld was, and we'll weld that thing back on, and then exhaust will be done. Getting really, really, really close on this bike. All right, so Jed's been up all morning building a rear silencer mount to go from here so we can utilize the factory 4-stroke mount. Show 'em what you got there, Jed.
So, just kind of a, I don't know, little bracket.
Made out of solid billet aluminum.
Solid chunk of aluminum.
So he actually built this off of measurements yesterday, and it looks like
You did pretty well.
looks like you did just fine. Wow, I like that. You should get in the bike building business, Jed.
You're real good at that, Jed.
I don't know if they'll hire me.
I'll hire you. So there's a new bracket installed. He's gonna go back to his shop and mill out a wedge. Welds it here, and then we'll actually trim this down and weld it to the wedge.
Just to have a nice clean look.
Just, yeah, it'll just be
So
clean.
we had to trim the plastics to kind of get that piece to come out, but
Be able to kind of see.
when it's in there, she's got a nice clean pop out right there.
Yeah, see, that's pretty darn clean. And that's all you'll see from the front silencer mount. Looks pretty good, I think, anyways. I'm dang happy with that, Jed. You done well.
We're proud of you, Jed.
Yes, we are. We're all proud of you.
Not bad for the only thing I've done on this bike.
Stop it. All right, well, there she is. She's all fabricated, all welded. Well, not quite all welded, but the majority of it's all welded. We're gonna blow this thing in a million pieces, finish welding it, and polish the frame. And next time you guys see it, we will be putting this thing back together for the final time. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like, turn on the notifications so you don't miss it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Say bye, guys.
See ya.
Don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it, ever. Did you say ranch or ranch? Is this your Southern Utah accent coming out?
I didn't say ranch.
I know, Jace over there.
Me?
Yeah, you say ranch or ranch?
Ranch?
Ranch.
Is this a Southern Utah accent?
Yeah, I'm a hit. All right, leave me alone.